I got a chance to do a preliminary kickoff of this exciting thing that GCentral's doing at GDevCon, but this is more the official kickoff today. And this is something that came up probably a year ago as an idea that GCentral ought to offer this. And it took a lot of research to figure out how we're going to host it, how we're going to handle it. And so this is the official kickoff of it today. And we're calling it the GID Exchange. Let's see here. So I'm going to talk a little bit about GCentral first off, and then talk about the problem that we're trying to solve with the GID Exchange. Talk about what you can do, how you can contribute, and then we have a special kind of test that we're doing with this, and I'm going to talk about that with VIP, and then the call to action. So just to introduce myself, I'm Q. You can feel free to call me Q. That's fine. I just switched jobs this year. I work for Tesseract now. I used to work for the U.S. Air Force. I'm also heavily involved in the community, as you can see. I'm one of the board of directors and the secretary of GCentral. I'm an admin on the LabVIEW wiki. I do still have my own side consulting, although I mostly just do it to program stuff for fun. Q Controls, you might have heard of. That's one of my things that I created from Q Software Innovations. And then obviously I'm a LabVIEW architect, and I'm a LabVIEW champion. And the LabVIEW zealot guy here, that's what I usually use as my avatar on all of the forums. So if you recognize that, then you'll know it's from me. So, like I said, I wear different hats depending on how you want to get a hold of me. I have an email address through Tesseract, my own email address through Q Software Innovations, and an email address through GCentral. You can also look me up on LinkedIn, Twitter, and just about any of the other forums that you see. So an overview on GCentral. GCentral is a nonprofit. If you attended the package manager discussion, Chris Cellino probably gave a little bit of a heads up of what GCentral is. Our goal is to help people to share and co-develop and find reusable software components in LabVIEW. And what makes us special is we're independent and we're a nonprofit. So we're out to help get the community the tools they need without any kind of return on investment or profit motive. Our current board of directors is Chris Cellino. He's the president. I'm the secretary. Danny Joby is one of our board members, along with Francois, and then Eric Reffett is our NI representative on the board. We've also had lots of other people help us out with this. We have a steering committee that you probably recognize a lot of the names on there, including Jeff Kodofsky, Brian Powell. Michael is one of the organizers of the GLA. Our emeritus board members, Fabiola was an initial board member, helped us get started. Elijah Carey was a board member. And then we've had meetings with lots of other people that have helped us out and given us advice, including Jim Kring and David Moore, Javier and Sam. And then we've had a host of volunteers that have helped us just create our website, help manage things. Shout out to Derek Bomberito, who's working on our new website. Matthias helped program our current website that's still up right now, which is a prototype. And yeah, he's good for other things besides robotics. Talking about Derek, I think. And then Matt, who just spoke up, he helped us program VI. It was actually his idea for VIP, and we'll talk about that. Oh, to robot on you about, yeah, you'll see. There's more about you too. And feel free to answer questions, help answer questions later when people ask about it too. All right. So if you want to find out more about GCentral, you can go find us at www.gcentral.org. We also have a forum specifically for GCentral on Lava, and we also have sites on all of the social media stuff. And so if you want to go follow us, you can follow us on any of those. All right, so I'm going to ask the audience a poll question here. And I noticed that Jörg was using this program earlier. Hopefully it works for the rest of you. So first, go ahead and log into menti.com and use the code there at the top. The code is 8675463. Let's see. Oop. Sorry, this did this to me earlier too. Make sure we're on the right one. We want to be on the question, what would it take to complete and publish open source toolkits? So if it's on the second question, because I accidentally switched it, give me just a second to get it to switch back here, hopefully. It's supposed to. Of course, I had the same problem at GDevCon, and I tested this out several times at home. And is it working for you? Are you guys all on the same question? It's not showing me on my other web browser here I have open. So you see the tools question. Okay, hold on. Don't do the tools question yet. Let me try to get this on the right question here. And I don't know why it's not, but maybe I need to tell it to reload it. Give me just a second here. Okay, hopefully we got you to the first question now. This is probably why Jörg had a different code for each question. It looks like this is pretty weird to have it have more than one, but so what would it take to complete and publish an open source toolkit that you've created or you would like to create? Yeah, time. Other contributors, that's been something that we discussed at GDevCon. The fact that it's hard to get other people to contribute somewhat because of different versions of LabVIEW. Like, let's say the toolkit was written in LabVIEW 2013 and the contributor only has, community edition, then it becomes difficult to have a contributor. Interest from others, a lot of time and money. That's true. Interest from others is a hard one to gauge. We'll give this about, 20 more seconds or so. If you have any other thoughts. Information. What do you mean by information? Like just how to start working on the toolkit maybe, or getting other contributors? Alrighty. I think we'll call that good for this question. The next question then is, what tools do you wish you had? Hopefully this is working for everybody. Let's see. Is it not updating? Are you guys seeing the question and is it letting you put stuff in? All right, there we go. I was worried that it wasn't linking properly. All right, some good ideas. This could be tools that you already have in mind or you're already working on too if you want to share them. All right. Yeah, frameworks. Yeah, Actor Framework visualization tools. That's something that Actor Framework really needs. Test infrastructure. API to other OS projects. Awesome. And game programming. I have a couple of games that I've programmed that I made it so that the object of the game really isn't to play the game, it's to program your own API almost to compete against other people's API. I ought to post those as a coding challenge or something. Maybe after Christmas, because I plan on doing the Advent of Code this year. So, hey, Chris. Alrighty, so take a look at this list. If you have any ideas from this list of things that you want to try to tackle, then go for it. This is a good list of tools that our community needs to help us be more successful. Alrighty, I'm going to move on. So I think what you can see is we all have a lot of really good ideas, but there's something holding us back. And a lot of the times it's either time or money. And so we have an idea, you know, this is to solve basically two problems. The first one is I have a really cool tool that I've already spent a lot of time creating. It works for me. I'm able to use it, but in order to publish it and put it out to the community, it needs some polishing. You know, it's 80% complete. It needs documentation. It needs to be a little more user friendly before I would feel comfortable giving it out. The other problem is maybe I have an idea. I'm not really the expert in it, but maybe there's someone else that can create it. But maybe if I put the idea out there, then we can collaborate and we can make this tool come to be. So that's what the mission is for the G Idea Exchange, is to provide a platform where the G community, programming community, can share in the development of the tools it needs, and it can share resources and skills into creating those. To do this, we're going to allow a developer to complete the tool that will benefit the community, or we'll allow a developer to utilize the skills of the community, and then we'll as GCentral will contract that out to someone to complete it. So you can go there now. GIE.GCentral.org is our platform that we're going to use to make this possible. And I'm going to show you some video on that. So how to contribute to the G Idea Exchange at GCentral.org. The first off is submit an idea to us. If you have a great idea that you want to create a tool or share it with the community, then there's a way that you can submit that to us for consideration for the G Idea Exchange. And this is how you do it. Just go to your web browser and then obviously go to GIE.GCentral.org. And then this is the website, and you can see we have some information on it on how you submit. There's a link right here on how you submit, and it'll take you to this form. Just give us your email, just so we can get a hold of you again to talk to you more about the idea. this is really just a front door to tell us about your idea. We're going to have some more back and forth talking with you on what you plan to do with this. So here I want to make a string formatter. Basically, I want it to be able to output any data type to string, and then you can define if you want XML or JSON or anything like that. So typing in my description here, this description can be long or short. Just like I said, this is a front door to help us know how to start talking with you about it. Okay, and then the last question is, if you know a cost or an hours or whatever that you want to estimate, then put it in here. That's just, again, that doesn't have to be the end all be all of what you think it's going to do. After we converse with you about it, then we can decide what would make sense. This is just a guess. And then you can submit it, and then you can edit your response or submit another. There's no limit to how many you can submit. Obviously, this is just like the LabVIEW idea exchange, but this has got a different aspect to it, that it's also going to be more like what's the crowdfunding site? My mind went blank, but you know what I mean. This is going to be for crowdfunding our ideas. There you go, like Kickstarter. The next step is to sponsor an idea. So yeah, you can submit an idea, but we would want everyone to go take a look at this and say, hey, that's a great idea. That's worth however much dollar amount to you. If I had that tool, that would save me, $50, or that would save me $100, or whatever you think is worthwhile. To sponsor an idea, you can sponsor by clicking the donate on the website, but that sponsors the whole G-idea exchange as a whole. And we do need funding to maintain this platform as well. But as we get ideas published and put on this website, there'll be ideas that you can go in and you can sponsor a specific idea. And so we have a test idea up there right now called VIP, which I'm going to talk more about here shortly. But you can go into VIP, you can read about the project. There'll be, I think I added the video from this presentation to that site now, so there'll be the video there that you can look at, and you can donate specifically to that project. You can decide to do one-time or monthly donation and set the dollar amount. You can specify your own dollar amount in there. Now, this does cost us some money to maintain this system, and they do, when they do process a transaction, they do take a percentage too. So the add a tip basically covers that transaction cost. And if you don't choose to add the tip, then that transaction cost is just going to come out of what you donated to us. So I'm not going to actually put my information in here. I don't want to show you all of my credit card information over the public here, but suffice it to say, you can go through here, put in your information, and hit charge, and it goes through, I think, a company called Stripe, which is, obviously got all of the security and functionality there. So just to let you know that this is a secure transaction. So that's how you donate to a specific project or donate to the website. The other thing that you can contribute is, this is going to be a subcommittee underneath the board of GCentral. And so we need some people that will volunteer to be part of this committee. And your jobs will be to evaluate and to see these ideas as they come in, to manage the actual G-idea exchange website, and to help do that back and forth communication with the person that submitted the idea, so that we can not only manage to get it listed, but also get marketing out to tell people that there's an idea that's out there, get the contributions, and ultimately work with the board to either pay you as the idea person the money to go finish it and manage finishing it, or ultimately we'll compete it out as a contract. So we need committee members to help us manage this website. Right now, all the rest of our board all have other projects and things that they're doing for the GID or for GCentral. I'm currently the one that's the head of the GID exchange, and I need some help. So please offer to volunteer for that. You can email me if you'd like to do that. QuintonAldridge@gcentral.org, or any of my other email addresses, really. But this is my official GCentral email address. So yes, please, if you want to help me, Felipe, please do. I'd love to have you. All right. So now we're going to talk about VIP. So VIP is currently just an idea that Matt Jacobson had, and we put it out there. He offered to give it to us basically for free as a way, and any proceeds that we get from this right now is going to go towards the cost of creating the GID exchange. VIP is being offered basically as an incentive to donate to get this thing stood up and going. Just so you know, the platform that we're running this on costs us on the order of about $2,000 a year. And so we would like to eventually have this self-sustaining and be able to have it go from there. So all right, so what is VIP? Let's go into that next. So what am I going to get if I donate to this? VIP is a different way to zoom your VIs. It's semantic zooming. So from a single window, you can drill down through a VI hierarchy and easily move back up the chain. Let's see, is there a question so far? Okay. So right now we have this program so that it replaces the navigation window. And so instead of having your typical navigation window, this replaces that. It opens up whenever you click on a sub VI. It opens up, shows that block diagram of that sub VI. You can drill down and back and forth through the call chain without opening hundreds of whatever windows. And it works for standard, polymorphic, dynamic dispatch, express, and malleable VIs. And I think it works if a VI is missing too, and gives you some information on a missing VI. So here's a video of what VIP is. Hopefully you can hear the music. Music went away. Here we go. On the malleable VIs, it shows you both the specific instance and the malleable VI, so you can see the difference. All right. There was a little bit of magic I had to work to get the malleable VI stuff working. It's not really magic. It's still VI server. It was just really weird workaround. But Matt has done a lot of the work. I've helped a little bit on it too. But the tool is out there and ready for you. But we do want to get some more money to make the GIDEA exchange a success as well. So, so call to action. Please go sponsor VIP. Whatever dollar amount you feel like it's worth or that you can afford, please, come help us make this a success. Also, submit new ideas. Let us know other things that you want to do. Sponsor an idea, sponsor other ideas once we get them more posted. And then, yes, I need a handful more committee members. I've really only had a couple volunteers so far. So please offer to help do this. So to finish off, this is kind of a short presentation, but if anyone wants to stick around and talk more about it, definitely. We've got Matt here to talk about VIP. Chris Chilino could talk more about GCentral. And I can obviously fill in more about the GIDEA exchange. The code is already out on GitHub. You can go add to it. You can submit request ideas to Matt and I. I think Matt just posted the kind of the beta. I guess it's a beta version of VIP in a package. It's on vipm.io. You can go search for that and get that now and start playing around with it. Like I said, it is beta, so please let us know where you find problems with it. It's not complete yet, but that's kind of the point of the GIDEA exchange. This is to help us complete tools that the community needs, and so help us, help you. Let's all help each other get the tools that we need. So after that, we'll leave it open to any questions. Let's see if I can add you. Open your mic, Matt. I don't know. Is there a way? How do I do that? Oh, there we go.
Oh, cool. Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Is there anything you'd like to say about it?
Yeah, I mean, I did want to mention one thing beyond any like money incentives. What was really nice is this a tool that I had been working on. I actually had worked on over December, and then basically stopped working on it for about 6 months. And I think one of the benefits of having something like the GIDEA exchange is, I think I showed this off in like a coffee hour we had, and it was just having one other person look at it and be like, oh yeah, this looks cool. And not only does it look cool, but there were some problems that I had run into that you knew how to resolve, and that really got it working to a much better state, because before that it was a real rough around the edges proof of concept. And I looked at it by myself and thought, well, I don't know, nobody else has really expressed interest, and I don't really know how to resolve these problems. So, I'll just kind of keep this. I think it was like privated on GitHub. So that was a big benefit of something like the ID Exchange as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and thank you for volunteering it, because originally we were like, okay, we need to have a proof of concept project for this. And we reached out to Darren first, just partially because of his name recognition too. And he's like, I don't have the time to do this right now. And so thank you for volunteering to let us use this as our proof of concept for the GID exchange. What is the question here? Okay, well, one of the things that we want to do with the GID exchange, this may not totally answer your question about how you can allow inclusion, but the GID exchange, whoever ends up developing it, basically gets to own the product. But the stipulation is they have to publish it under an open source license. One of the I think there's a handful of accepted open source licenses. If you go to the open source project, I don't know what the website is. You can Google it. They have a list of open source licenses. Now, different open source licenses let you do different things in commercial software. Some of them require attribution. Some of them, it's like, no, you use it however you want. I don't care, but I have no liability. I think it's up to whoever ultimately programs the tool what license they want to use. That's an open source license. I would tend to want these to be pretty much, hey, you can do whatever you want with this. It is, even though whoever develops it will end up being the owner of the code, because GCentral doesn't want to be the owner of the code. Ultimately, we'd like it to be as least restrictive as possible, so that we can all share the tools and make the tools useful for all of us. Any other thoughts on that? All right, any other questions? We'll stick around until our time's up. So if you want to ask more about VIP, then go for it, or any of those. Okay. Yeah, I know NI has a pretty big list of open source stuff. We have a issues list on GitHub of things. There's a few little buggy issues. What do you know of, Matt, that really needs to be done?
Well, let's look at the issue. I have them tagged as different priority too. What is it? Issues if you click on items too fast after launching the window, causes some issues. Selecting the root polymorphic item in the tree, which shouldn't even be selectable, so I don't really.
Oh, that might be
that one sometimes causes issues, and I don't really remember why it does, but it's like sometimes will, sometimes won't.
Yeah, because I think it was my plan to make it so that it said this is a polymorphic VI, so obviously there's no front panel or no block diagram to open, but it would still let you open the polymorphic editor. Maybe that's just not implemented yet.
Yeah, but there's additional stuff added to the tools menu. Hunter, right now there's actually a INI token that you can update. Well, there's two actually. There's one INI token that lets you update whether you're launching VIP or the navigation window. So probably adding some simple checkbox type thing to the tools menu so you don't have to go and manually update that INI token is something we're looking at. Giving user feedback on a bad selection. So to make sure you don't spin your wheels going down a what's it called? So I guess it can't open locked VIs, and it can't open VIs that are already like you've already inspected. So like recursive peeking. So giving feedback on like, hey, you right now it just doesn't let you select it, but giving feedback on why nothing happened, stuff like that. And I'm sure there's more bugs we'll find when people actually start using it more.
Yeah. Oh, and Ryan, I know you said you're okay. On another thing, on if you aren't the one that wants to carry out the work and you put the idea out there, obviously we'll have that conversation with you. And then after we go, at some point, we'll work with the GCentral board to put that out as a contract, and we'll basically contract it out. But I think a lot of the times, at least initially, we're going to be the ones that want to do the idea, or the submitter is going to be the one that wants to carry out the idea. But we hope to help facilitate both. Let's see, what's question? Let's see. Just wondering if there is a thought of how to group things together, most like having OpenG toolkits or MGI toolkits. I don't know. The OpenG toolkit is it's an open source, but it's kind of maintained by JKI. Obviously, the MGI toolkits are maintained by MGI, and so right now there's no talks about trying to merge those kind of things. There's kind of three sets of toolkits, I think, or three different categories. There's the bag of VIs, which is kind of like what OpenG and MGI's toolkits are, where it's just a group of a whole bunch of useful little one VI things. There's whole big toolkits, and that maybe carry out one big function like panel manager or pane relief, or no, pane relief would be something else. Pane relief would be the third one. The third one would be add-on IDE tools. And I would say VIPeak fits under an IDE add-on. Pane relief would be one of those, Let's see. I mean, we do champion those things behind the scenes, but we don't obviously own any of those things. Obviously, we champion as much open source as possible. One of our board members is Francois. He publishes stuff under the LabVIEW open source project on VIPM.io and has lots of open source tools like MQTT toolkit and others. So I don't know how to do the GitHub batch. That would be kind of cool to offer some badge on some of the forums or something. I don't know. One of the things that GCentral wants to do is provide an aggregate location where you can search for tools. And maybe if it's a GID Exchange sponsored tool, then maybe it gets promoted. I don't know, but that's something that we haven't discussed yet. Got a couple more minutes. Any other questions? Yeah, Matt showed us at one of the virtual coffees. If you don't know about those, Sam Taggart hosts them. You could ping him to get an invitation. It's just a great, it's mostly it's just BS time, but it's a great place to go talk about problems that you're having with your code or anything, and Sam's a regular. Matt is fairly regular. I'm fairly regular. Steve Watts joins quite a bit. There's a handful that come, and it's great just to bounce ideas off of each other. So, especially if you're in a one-man shop, you need to have a group like that you can bounce ideas off of. Awesome. I do have another presentation coming up in a couple of hours. I'm going to actually be presenting on something I programmed. So I'll be switching hats yet again. I won't be presenting from GCentral's point of view. I'll be presenting from my own code. And I don't know if anyone's ever heard of X controls, or not X controls, X nodes. They're not really something that you're supposed to be allowed to play with, but you can if you know the right way to do it. I'm going to show the right way to do it and show one of my tools. So awesome. Thank you. I hope this ends up being a great platform for the community. Makes it so that we can share in the cost of developing some of these things. Thank you, Jesper. Awesome. Thank you all. Have a great day. I will stick around for a few more minutes, and if there's anybody else. Thank you, Casey. Casey's already come and discussed some ideas with Matt and I, and awesome. Thank you, Michael. Thank you all. Have a great day.